She called it a slice of happiness. But that chocolate cake nearly sliced 20 years off her life. And what saved her wasn't medicine, it was a strange, sticky Japanese bean. At 65, I no longer believe in miracle pills. But I do believe in a warm bowl of morning miso. In today's longevity tale, let me take you back to a spring morning in Tokyo where my mentor, Dr. Yamamoto, now 104 years old, taught me that longevity doesn't start in the hospital. It starts in the kitchen. Ready? Let's begin. One time, I was sipping ginger tea with George, an old patient of mine in Houston. He looked at me with a skeptical glint in his eyes and asked, "Kenji, what do I need to eat to make it to 100 like that doctor in the video? I'm only 72, and already my knees are complaining the moment I wake up." I chuckled and poured him another cup. "George," I said, "longevity doesn't come from a pill. It comes from each bite you take every day. Want to live long like the elders? Don't let a strip of bacon cut your story short." I remember that morning clearly. The Tokyo sky was unusually blue. I was visiting my old mentor Dr. Yamamoto, now 104 years old. He still lived in a modest wooden house, bathed in sunlight, quiet and serene. He opened the door with his usual grace. Though lean, his back was straight, his eyes sharp, and his voice soft like a breeze. "Come in," he smiled gently. I made some good natto today. In his tiny kitchen, breakfast was simple: a bowl of brown rice, a few strips of seaweed, miso soup, and fermented natto. No meat, no eggs, no dairy. Just pure plant-based food, light, energizing, and alive. I joked, "Doc, aren't you going to have some meat to get your protein?" He gave a knowing smile. "Meat helps you live strong for 10 years, but vegetables help you live happily for 40. This fat doesn't just clog your arteries, it clogs your future. Modern science strongly agrees. There's no shortage of research linking saturated fats, the kind found in red meat, dairy, and coconut oil, to heart disease. A 2020 meta-analysis in the British Medical Journal confirmed that higher intake of saturated fat increases LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, leading to clogged arteries and strokes. Worse, saturated fat also fuels systemic inflammation, the silent kind that simmers beneath the surface and leads to chronic illnesses like diabetes, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. The good news? Diets rich in plant-based foods and unsaturated fats like those from nuts, avocados, and olive oil have the opposite effect, reducing inflammation and protecting the heart. She called it a slice of happiness until it nearly sliced 20 years off her life. Take Linda, for example, a woman with a soft spot for chocolate cake. Linda was an elementary school teacher from Ohio. Her guilty pleasure? Chocolate cake, what she called her daily dose of happiness. But that happiness came with a price: cholesterol at 240 mang, DL, fatty liver, and constant fatigue. When I suggested a low-fat, plant-based diet for 30 days, Linda was skeptical. But with gentle encouragement, I sent her sample meal plans each week, suggested easy dishes like steamed cauliflower, lentil stew, and chickpea avocado salad. She gave it a shot. 3 months later, Linda's cholesterol dropped to 168 milligrams DL. Her liver function returned to normal. But what made me happiest wasn't the numbers. It was her smile, brighter, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. She told me, "For the first time in 15 years, I woke up and didn't feel heavy." Every long life I've ever studied has 3 ingredients: simplicity, nature, and intuition. Over the years in practice, I've come to realize something. There's no perfect diet for everyone, but there is one thing all long-living people seem to share: simplicity, natural food, and a deep ability to listen to their bodies. Choosing a low-fat, plant-based lifestyle isn't just about health, it's a way of life. It eases the burden on the liver, the heart, the kidneys, the hard-working organs that suffer under the weight of too much meat, fat, and sugar. It lightens the body and lifts the mind, just like Dr. Yamamoto's still climbing stairs daily, journaling every morning, and hasn't checked into a hospital in over 30 years. This lifestyle is a small key that opens the big door of longevity. Want to age well? Don't race your way through breakfast. If you're just starting your wellness journey, don't try to overhaul everything overnight. Begin with something small. Swap your bacon and eggs breakfast for a bowl of oatmeal with walnuts, or replace that burger with a hummus and greens sandwich. When it comes to eating, how you eat matters just as much as what you eat. I once timed a teenager who finished his burger in 90 seconds flat. That's not lunch, I told him. That's a food robbery. Dr. Yamamoto always chewed each bite at least 30 times. It's not about counting, he'd say. It's about being with the food. Chewing slowly activates enzymes, calms the nervous system, and tells your brain, we're safe, we're fed, we can rest now. If you want to age well, don't rush through your meals. Savor them. Each bite is a love letter to your future self. I can't promise you'll live to 104 like my mentor. But I can promise this. Every meal you choose today becomes a brick in the foundation of a lighter, stronger, deeper tomorrow. Health isn't a destination. It's the way you walk through your days. Forget coffee. This citrus ritual might just reboot your whole morning and your mitochondria. The man who lived past 100 never missed this one morning habit, neither should you. There's one thing my mentor, Dr. Yamamoto, has never skipped in over 60 years. Starting his day with a warm glass of water and a few slices of fresh lemon. When I was still a medical intern, I once asked him, is it really that important? It's just lemon and water. He smiled kindly. It's how I tell my body, a new day is here. Let's begin gently. That answer sounded simple, but it wrapped in it a whole philosophy of slow living, mindful mornings, and deep listening to one's own body. Science says one warm sip can shift your gut, your pH, and your mood before 8 a.m. Lemon is rich in vitamin C, antioxidant flavonoids, and citric acid that helps activate digestive enzymes. When combined with warm water, it gently cleanses the gut, stimulates bowel movement, and rehydrates your body after a long night's rest. A study from the Japan Institute of Nutrition shows that drinking warm lemon water in the morning can slightly improve blood pH, alkalizing effect, reduce excess stomach acid, and support the liver in detoxifying waste. It's not a miracle, just a quiet, consistent ritual that gently rewires your system. What happens when you pair warm lemon water with deep breathing? Spoiler: your brain says thank you. Dr. Yamamoto often meditates for 10 minutes after drinking his lemon water. He sits upright, closes his eyes, breathes slowly through his nose, and simply feels the morning air seep through his pores. When I adopted this habit, I realized something strange. Just 15 minutes each morning, with warm lemon water, deep breathing, and no screens, left my mind clearer than coffee ever could. Meditating after lemon water isn't a spiritual obligation. It's simply a way to wake both body and spirit, anchoring you into the present, the root of lasting health. Start with one mindful gulp. Your body might just start writing you love letters. If you're looking for a gentle first step into health, try swapping your morning coffee for a warm glass of lemon water. Sip it slowly. Breathe deeply. Don't scroll yet. Just 10 minutes of intention in the morning, and you might find yourself lighter, cleaner, and a little more at peace with the day ahead. Your body hears every little thing you do. Start with one warm sip and one conscious breath. Your body is a garden. Don't let disease grow like weeds when you can bloom like basil. I still remember that summer afternoon following Dr. Yamamoto into his backyard garden. He bent down to trim some kale leaves, picked a few shiso sprigs, then turned to me and said, "The body is like soil. If it's too acidic, weeds will grow. But if you keep it slightly alkaline, the flowers of vitality bloom on their own." I smiled politely back then, not realizing how profound that metaphor was until I studied pH and nutrition in depth. The human body functions best at a blood pH of around 7.3, 7.45, a slightly alkaline zone. When we consume too many acidic foods like meat, sugar, fried foods, and sodas, the body has to borrow minerals like calcium from our bones to neutralize that acid, eventually weakening our immune system and leading to fatigue and bone loss. Alkaline foods like leafy greens, kale, celery, spinach, fresh fruits, legumes, fermented foods, miso, natto, kimchi, kombucha, and vegetable juice help rebalance the internal environment, ease the load on the liver and kidneys, and boost the detox process. One study published in the Journal of Environmental and Public Health found that an alkaline-rich diet significantly lowers risks of hypertension, chronic headaches, and supports cellular health. Your gut bugs are gossiping with your brain. Feed them wisely. We host over 100 trillion microbes in our gut. These tiny creatures don't just digest food, they regulate mood, immunity, and even memory. Many researchers now refer to the gut as our second brain. Alkaline foods, especially fermented ones, nurture friendly bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. When your gut flora is thriving, you feel more energetic, fall sick less often, and your mood steadies like a well-tuned cello. One thing I always remind people, your gut microbes are chatty. They text your brain constantly about stress, sadness, cravings, even hope. Feed them junk, and they scream. Feed them plants, and they hum. I once worked with a truck driver who confessed he hadn't eaten a green thing in years unless pickles on a burger count. After 1 month of adding fermented veggies, chia pudding, and blended greens into his routine, he said, "Doc, my gut isn't growling anymore, and neither is my mood. That's the magic of your inner garden. It blooms when you do." I once worked with Clara, a ballet dancer plagued by chronic constipation and mood swings. After switching her breakfast to plant-based probiotic yogurt and a green smoothie, she once told me, "It feels like my belly is singing and my mood is dancing with it. Add greens like a chef, not a monk." Morning smoothie? Try blending spinach, ripe banana, apple, chia seeds, and coconut. Water your glass of green energy, light and vibrant. Want to make steamed veggies irresistible? Just add a few slices of ginger, a splash of sesame oil, and a sprinkle of roasted sesame seeds to your broccoli. Make salad the main act. Whip up a big bowl of greens with miso lemon dressing, and top it with grilled tofu or toasted walnuts. And don't forget the power of fermentation. Make a jar of kimchi or purple cabbage pickled in apple cider vinegar. Your gut buddies will throw a party. Go slow, grow strong. Your gut doesn't speak overnight change. You don't need to eat like a Zen monk tomorrow morning. Just start with tiny, joyful tweaks. Add a handful of raw greens to your lunch. Try a green juice before your commute, or simply swap your salty chips for a jar of dairy-free fermented yogurt. As my mentor always said, eating alkaline isn't about dodging death. It's about living each day brighter, clearer, and more joyfully. Your body is a garden. Plant something good in it every day with greens, with gratitude, and with grace. Sweet today, sour tomorrow. If sugar's your love language, make sure it's not your goodbye note. One night, while on a hospital shift in Osaka, where Dr. Yamamoto served as honorary advisor, I caught him standing silently in front of a chocolate cake someone had left in the nurse's break room. I asked him if he wanted a slice. He gently shook his head and said, "I used to love sweets, but I watched my closest friend, a cardiologist, die from a stroke at 63. He had 2 cream cakes a day. Since then, I haven't touched white sugar." That story stuck with me. Refined sugar and ultra-processed foods are 2 of the main culprits behind the global rise in obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that people who consumed over 20% of their daily calories from added sugars had a 38% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who consumed less. Sugar spikes blood glucose rapidly, forcing the pancreas to churn out insulin constantly. Over time, this overload leads to insulin resistance, the breeding ground for type 2 diabetes. Sugar also fuels chronic inflammation, feeds bad gut bacteria, and breaks down collagen, speeding up aging. Processed foods like sausages, instant noodles, And packaged snacks come packed with additives, salt, artificial sweeteners, and refried oils. These don't just raise your risk for colon cancer, they're addictive, making you crave more the less you resist. Melissa, a middle school teacher from Seattle, came to me feeling drained, sleepless, and irritable. Her diet looked like this: muffin for breakfast, sandwich with soda for lunch, frozen pizza for dinner. "I'm too busy to cook," she confessed. We didn't overhaul everything at once. Just swapped her muffin for oats, her soda for carrot apple juice, and her frozen pizza for a homemade veggie soup. 6 weeks later, she had lost nearly 5 kilos, slept soundly, and felt energized instead of crashing mid-afternoon. "I didn't realize I was addicted to sugar," she said. "Now I wake up feeling like I've spent the night camping in the mountains. Want to quit sugar without quitting joy? Here's how. Sweeten with fruit, add banana slices, baked apples, or a few dates to your tea or oatmeal. Batch cook your meals, make a big pot of soup, and freeze portions so you're not tempted by fast food. Read labels, carefully steer clear of products where sugar or its aliases, like sucrose, HFCS, or syrup, appear in the top 3 ingredients. Keep healthy snacks within arm's reach, like walnuts or homemade oat energy bars. Try a 7-day sugar detox and watch your body smile. I often recommend a simple 7-day sugar detox to my patients. No refined sugars, no sodas, no candies, just real, whole foods, veggies, fruits, legumes. Drink lots of warm water, ginger tea, or unsweetened juices. The first day might be tough, but by day 4, many say their minds feel clearer, their bellies lighter, and their sleep deeper, like sugar had been clouding them for years. Your one step this week? Try going sugar-free for just 7 days. Prep your fruits, make a batch of veggie soup, blend your own juice. My mentor used to say, "A moment of sweetness isn't worth a lifetime of heartache." But if you're patient, your body will remember how to love what's real. Sugar isn't the enemy. But if you let it lead the dance, you'll forget the true rhythm of life. Your cells have a spring cleaning mode. Turn it on before the junk piles up. One crisp autumn afternoon during a longevity conference in Kyoto, Dr. Yamamoto introduced me to a very special friend, Professor Yoshinori Osumi, the Japanese scientist who won the 2016 Nobel Prize in Medicine for his groundbreaking work on autophagy. Autophagy, he explained with a kind smile, is the process by which your body eats and removes damaged or dysfunctional cell parts. It's like decluttering your home. You toss out the junk to make room for vitality. When this process works well, your body not only cleanses cells, but renews them, slowing aging, reducing inflammation, and even preventing disease. Autophagy is most active when you fast wisely, eat naturally, and avoid sugar while embracing enzymes and antioxidants. I often tell my patients, autophagy isn't some fancy biohack reserved for Silicon Valley types. It's an ancient wisdom built into your biology. The body has always known how to clean itself, if only we stop interrupting it. I remember explaining this to a retired violinist who feared fasting would make her dizzy. "I can't skip meals," she said. "I'll lose my rhythm." So we started small, 12 hours between dinner and breakfast. After 2 weeks, she laughed and said, "I'm not sure if I'm playing the violin better, but I'm definitely waking up in tune." Fasting is not about starving, it's about giving your cells a break to do what they've been waiting to do all along: repair, reset, and quietly rejoice. Let food be your reset button, not your burden. In Dr. Yamamoto's daily meals, you'll always find dishes like natto fermented soybeans, rich in vitamin K2, that keep blood vessels flexible and boost immune function, miso fermented soybean paste full of live enzymes that aid digestion and clean the gut while promoting cellular repair, earthy vegetables like daikon, cabbage, and fish mint polyphenol-rich plants that protect cell membranes from oxidative stress, and nourishing seeds like almonds, walnuts, and healthy fats and plant proteins that strengthen your system without sparking inflammation. These foods don't just fuel you, they give your metabolism a breather and gently activate your body's built-in repair mode. Takeru didn't need more coffee, he needed less chaos inside his cells. Takeru, an artist from Kobe, came to me constantly tired, foggy, and bloated. His routine? Late-night eating, strong coffee, and minimal movement. We didn't overhaul his life. I simply suggested he start with 14-hour intermittent fasting. Swap processed food for whole natural meals like miso soup, leafy greens, and nuts, and avoid red meat, dairy, and refined sugar. Just 3 weeks later, Takeru messaged me. For the first time in 10 years, I woke up without needing coffee. My body feels like it's lit up from within. He lost 4 kilos, slept deeper, and felt emotionally grounded. 2 months later, he even held an art exhibit titled Autophagy, a rebirth within. Ready to eat like your body's repair team is on standby? Here's a sample autophagy-friendly menu. Morning, post, fast, warm water with lemon, oatmeal cooked in almond milk topped with flax seeds and berries. Lunch raw veggie salad with miso ginger sesame dressing, miso soup with seaweed and soft tofu, brown rice with natto. Dinner, keep it light, pumpkin soup with walnuts, and unsweetened kombucha tea. You don't need a prescription to spark renewal, just a little patience and presence. If you're ready to begin, try skipping food after 7 p.m. Let your body rest and reset. Choose miso over meat, water over soda, and sleep over scrolling. Your body is a genius at healing itself. Your job is to stop interrupting it. Longevity isn't a goal. It's a quiet reward for those who live each day with gentle attention. That's what I've learned from my 104-year-old mentor, Dr. Yamamoto. You don't need to change your entire diet overnight. Begin with something small: a warm glass of lemon water instead of strong black coffee, a bowl of oatmeal instead of fried sausage, a humble plate of fermented vegetables and brown rice instead of frozen pizza, a quiet evening without food after 7 p.m., giving your body space to clean the house. Each of these is a small seed planted in the garden of your body, and soon you'll discover no magic pills, no expensive machines, just consistency, curiosity, and kindness toward your own biology. Longevity is not just about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. If you've made it this far in the story, perhaps your heart is already whispering, "It's time." So try one thing today. Your body is always listening. Today's gentle action. Choose one meal free of sugar and processed food. Start your morning with warm lemon water. Write down 3 things you're grateful for before dinner. This isn't just a path to living longer. It's the art of living deeper, lighter, truer. And I hope one day you and I will sit together, our hair silver, sharing stories of the quiet miracles that began with a single sip of warm water. Health is love practiced daily, with greens, stillness, and breath. Every tale I tell is a small gift from my heart to yours. If it brought you comfort or courage today, stay with me. We've only just begun.